is I'd talk a little bit about kind of tips and tricks for getting started and best practices for thinking about how to integrate SMS into your overall communication strategy. The first one is really, it sounds obvious, but define where it fits in. You saw here as an example, it may be that you're looking to drive more leads or drive more awareness, or you're trying to reach a specific segment of your base, or you've got time sensitive events that you really want to promote and get more awareness around those. So there's a very much, there's lots of different strategies and lots of different ways to start. So think through kind of what it is you're trying to achieve. And then second, leverage all the elements that are kind of, basic things. Personalize. You can personalize your message just like an email. You can, personalize with their first name. And, we also integrate, we have contact sync with Mailjet, of course, and we integrate with Salesforce and NetSuite and HubSpot and a lot of the other communication platforms as well. Second, ensure that the message is valuable, that it's something important. Third, and you all know this, make sure that there's an opt-out. You've got to have an opt-out. Fourth, be succinct. I think we've all gotten those long text messages, and I know I, for one, often don't get past the fourth or fifth sentence in those. So really make sure it's succinct, get to the point. That will grab their attention. And then finally, include a call to action. And I know you all know this, but oftentimes people are looking at text messages in those in-between moments. So having a click and get your discount, or sign up for the event, or make a payment, or anything like that, you can include that call to action in your text message to kind of get more engagement with your customers. And then finally, ensure that the messages are compliant. You do need to have opt-ins and be okay to send via mobile phone. I'll talk about a little bit that in the next slide. Manage customer preferences and ensure that you've got an opt-out for all marketing campaigns. And I know all of you are very much experts in that, so that's not lost on any of you. One last little set of kind of final reminders, and I kind of couldn't help myself here. On that, make it easy to opt in. So a lot of times we do get questions from customers. I don't have their mobile numbers. Can I text them? I know when I'm signing up and I add my mobile number, if there's a little box there that says, send me a text message for notify me, enable, important notifications, something like that, I almost always click it, because I do want to know, oh yeah, my package is going to arrive tomorrow, or that kind of thing, right? So just make it, think as you're collecting information, make it easy for people to say, okay, yes, I would like you to communicate with me via text. Second, be aware of time zones. Sending an email in the middle of the night isn't damaging, but sending a text message that wakes up an important customer in the middle of the night is not a great thing. So just be aware of the time zones. It's a different communication. And then, some of the basics. Have a purpose. It is a bit more of a personal communication channel. So have a purpose, have that call to action, be relevant, be relevant and timely. And then finally, do prioritize quality over quantity. This isn't one where, more is better. It's often kind of, having something that's a bit more relevant and personal will really cut through here. So
yeah, I think this is so helpful, Kate. I really love how you guys.
I saw you nodding, Julie. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, just like that. As many at email camp, I'm sure have heard this. Well, email is dead. Email is not dead. We know that email still remains the most popular channel of communication. I think adding texting, whether that's SMS, MMS, like looking at how to add rich messaging, especially sort of keeping some of these things in mind that are on this slide of, how can you make it very additive? Because if you add it into your program, get it very, you're doing certain things in email and you're doing other like very time sensitive or, things that have a lot of urgency. You're doing that through text. Like you said, quality over quantity, making sure Like, again, it's a little bit easier to ignore an email, right? Like if it's in your inbox, you can engage with it if you want or not. Text is very in your face, right? When something pops up on your phone. And so making sure that you're really thinking about when you reach out to those customers, and you're reaching out, to the customers either by looking at segmentation, looking at different opt-ins, how you're sort of encouraging people. Like, I'm sure you all have seen a lot these days on, it's like, get the 10%, 15% discount for signing up for texts. Just sort of thinking about how you can get people to engage and come in. And then once you do, just being very thoughtful about it. And then I think that leads to some of those great outcomes that we saw, like 400% lift and conversion.
Right.
When you can combine those two channels, right? It's not about one or the other. It's about email and messaging being
That's
better.
right. Exactly. Like the first example I loved, where it is not a either or by any means. There's every business is different. So thinking about the strategy that and what you're trying to achieve, and in different time, maybe you're trying to drive leads at this time and trying to promote an event at this time. But I also loved that when we see this all the time, that it does increase engagement across all channels. And I think that's what all businesses are trying to do, is better engage with customers and build that trust and build that conversation in a way that's easily and at a time that makes sense for them. So